What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know you guys can probably already tell what's going down just by that title alone. Today we got MSNBC host Psaki proving that she lives on an entirely different planet than the rest of us folks. But luckily we've got Don Lemon here to bring her back to reality. And oh my goodness, this is a good one, guys. So definitely buckle up. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it, guys. We got Psaki here at the DNC last week stating that Kamala Harris is as likable as Hillary Clinton. Oh my goodness. But she's saying it in a good way. Surprisingly saying that, she's some magical, charismatic quality in a person. And she's saying that people also say that about Hillary Clinton. Like, what world does Psaki live? I've got to hear her say this out of her own mouth. No way she says this, guys.
Quality in person. So do a lot of politicians. People say that about Hillary Clinton. Also true. This magical, charismatic quality in person. So do a lot of politicians. People say that about Hillary Clinton. Also true.
And she has to, end that off saying also true. I had to hear it again just to make sure I was hearing it correct. Oh my goodness. Psaki just is getting up there with the Trump derangement syndrome, guys. It does not stop there. She inadvertently drops a joke on herself, saying that Donald Trump, JD Vance speak to a tiny portion of the American public, and she's speaking to a very tiny portion of the American public. You can see this room is about empty. Supposed to be filled up in the DNC waiting for Kamala Harris to speak, but we're seeing who's really speaking to a tiny portion of the public. Let's get straight into it, guys.
Just watching tonight, the diversity of the faces, the youth in the room, the diversity of people's backgrounds is so striking and different from a couple of weeks ago. And what's also different is the overall message. I mean, Biden and Harris are speaking to the totality of the country, the multicultural, multi-ethnic country we live in.
This is what the total portion of the country looks like here to Psaki. We can see there's tons of open seats right there. I mean, I'm not sure if this is the total portion that of the country that but Tim Walz and Harris are speaking to, or is she speaking about different crowds that they've been bringing in? We know Donald Trump and who he's speaking to, JD Vance, guys. They bring in historical crowd. Donald Trump is always speaking about, the folks on the left, even Barack Obama is upset with how much Donald Trump prides himself on how much of a crowd he can bring. And he's drawing those crowds because he speaks to so many people within our country, guys. Look at Psaki make a fool of herself live on television.
To the totality of the country, the multicultural, multi-ethnic country we live in, that's diverse with a big umbrella and everybody who's a part of it. And Trump and Vance speak to a tiny, tiny portion of the public. And that's a striking thing. You look at the room, but I think also in the messages we'll hear.
That's very ironic, guys. The irony in her statement right there is saying that they speak to a very tiny portion. And this goes back to that picture that MSNBC, I guess I'll say, is trying to paint. They're trying to gaslight, push this narrative to their viewers to say that Kamala Harris is viewed as some, strong leader that everyone's going to rally behind. She's bringing and speaking to so many people, household Americans are, rallying behind Kamala Harris. But this is all smoke and mirrors, and folks can see straight through it. There is holes inside the blanket, the sheet that you're trying to cover up all these lies with, guys. People can see straight through, and it's making them funny. Then we got Don Lemon here, able to bring her back to reality. That planet that she's been living on, it stops right here. Listen to this, guys.
Is there anything, what did they think about Harris? Did they have anything to say about her?
They did have, listen, it depends on where you are. We went to a number of different battleground states in Pennsylvania, Ohio. We were in Michigan, Indiana, on our way, obviously, Illinois, on our way to Chicago. And it sort of depended on where you were. Pennsylvania, well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was, right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself.
Guys, they don't even know who she is. I mean, how long has she slid in replacing Biden. I mean, how long has it been? You're telling me that folks still don't even know who she is? That's how much the left-wing media, Kamala Harris is how much they've been covering up and hiding this lady away from the media. She's done no interviews, no real presence in front of the American people. And they're saying that she speaks to the majority. She speaks to the majority of the American public. I mean, like, it's not making sense to me how she's speaking to the majority, but the majority of folks don't know her or don't understand or have any knowledge of what policy she stands for. You know, what is Kamala Harris running for if no one's going to get any substance behind her campaign? It just doesn't make sense, guys. It's showing right here. We got Don Lemon. He's not going to play those games. He's going to put the truth out there, true media, true journalism. We need to move back towards that. You know, that's why a lot of people aren't able to support MSDNC, all the lies, because they try to paint pictures like these. We can see it right now. Jen Psaki, she's over here dumbfounded. She's like, what? What do you mean people don't know Kamala Harris? We all know. Unless they're bought and paid for, folks don't know who Kamala Harris is. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's got to be bought and paid for support every single time. That's not going to show up on the polls. It's not. It's not going to show up at the and we're voting later on November 5th either, election day. It's not going to show up. I promise that right now.
In Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was. Right? They weren't familiar with her. So I think she has to reintroduce herself to the public. But for him, I think that they thought that he's better for the economy. And that, again, that he gave them, that he brought money into the community and that, or that he was on black people's side.
Was there anything?
Even saying that he was on black people's side. So, you know, Don Lemon was, and he was touching down all demographics, hitting on all areas to see where the folks' minds are, where everyone's heads at. And he can say it right now that more people's focus was on Donald Trump than it was on Kamala Harris. And this lady's been in office for the last 3.5 years. I mean, come on, guys. How much better does it get? Then we got Jen Psaki here filling us in. This is going to let you know if you don't know who Kamala Harris is, this is why. Listen to Jen Psaki's reasoning, guys. Oh my, blown away.
Kamala Harris, the vice president, I'm going to call her vice president now because I keep calling her. She is like, in my view, an undervalued talent. She's a very fierce communicator. She's very strong, especially on one of the core.
Undervalued talent, a fierce communicator is how she leads this. She's coming out the gates, firing those lies, guys. Listen to her, a fierce communicator that never does any communication. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I guess.
Keep calling her. She is like, in my view, an undervalued talent. She's a very fierce communicator. She's very strong, especially on one of the core issues that made the election maybe won or lost on, which is abortion rights. You know, and this is why I think when she did a couple of interviews after the debate, I was sitting on the set with a bunch of other MSNBC anchors, and we were like, everybody was like, that was great. It's like, yeah, that's what she's doing out in the country, and nobody is really tracking it. It's just, that's who she is. But there is a character out there. It's almost like public opinion.
Notice how vague it always is when they're describing Kamala Harris and how great it's always so, so vague in the description. There's never no point to figure on why you should support or why they think she's so great. They're just like, she's doing the same things out there. When she has a great moment, she's doing great moments always. They just don't say she's doing, like, come on. Cut the crap, dude. We can see straight through it. Listen to Jen Psaki, and she's going to wrap it up here by letting you know what the reason it is. If you don't support or believe in Kamala Harris, or you don't even know her, this is the reason why, guys. Listen to her.
There is a character out there. It's almost like public opinion hasn't caught up with what she is doing out there. And also, we live in a country that is sexist and racist. So, like, there is that. Not everybody at all, but there is a level of it that does impact elections.
All right, guys. So Jen Psaki here, absolutely bombing it. She's showing us a different level. I think this is a record level Trump derangement syndrome, guys. I don't understand how she is, able to get on every single day and spew these lies, paint this picture, and gaslight the viewers. And, I hope folks are waking up at this point. I mean, it's so blatant. It's so obvious. She will say anything to cover for Miss Kamala Harris, sitting in an empty room saying that Donald Trump speaks to a tiny portion of the American public. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's supposed to be a rally, a gathering, DNC convention for Miss Kamala Harris to step into that. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Is Miss Jen Psaki's Trump derangement syndrome too far gone for a cure? Hop in the comment section. Let me know. Can we save her? Is she too far gone? Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd enjoy more content like this. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.